Okay. I think we're live. We're live. Yes, we is live. Hello, hello. I'm gonna just be. I'm flying through this. Welcome to day 71 of Naruto goodness, where we are getting to. Do I have Discord? Oh, that's just texted. Discord, I sure do. Where we are, day 71, where we are doing stuff. We're doing the goodness. And what? Where our goal is to get down to 5,760 is the goal. And yeah, there's not much else to it than that. I've been crunching the numbers earlier and we are almost halfway. Almost halfway. By the end, I say by the sort of towards the latter half of day 73 is the halfway mark. Or, in other words, 5,613. Technically 5,613.5, but hey, I suppose halfway through, as soon as the half health bars hit on 513, I guess we're there. But anyway, we continue and we march forward. Anyway, super quick roll call for this evening. We have a cup of tea, as per usual. So again, the last of the protein yogurt and some frozen blueberries. And we also have accompanying us, I'm not going to bring them off the roll call, they're going to be shy today, 2 glasses of water. And that is what we have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In between class, I'm just going to swap my roll, some texts. But beyond that, we're just getting into it. We're just doing it. What other? Have I got updates? I only streamed yesterday, so do I have updates? Not so much. Just today, and I suppose tomorrow will be the same. Full on days. Feel like there's not enough hours in the days for me to do. Enough hours in the day for me to do all the work that I need to without doing 10-hour days. Wanting to try and keep, not quite quitting, because I do think that quite quitting is like I respect the principle behind it, but in practice, I just think the whole quiet quitting thing is just a bit. Like I see what I get it, but yeah, nah. Okay, what are we doing? Sakura and Toby around. These characters are not having it today with ultimates. They just really aren't. Goodness. Why am I suddenly playing so bad today? Am I playing bad or is just the AI just gone a bit haywire? I feel like the AI has just gone a little bit haywire. No, I feel like I say that as an excuse for me playing really poorly. Right, just text in me, bro. Text and click at the same time. Pick of SpongeBob. Okay. Anyway, moving on to fight number 4, I think. Yes. Satyas, hello, what up? How are you? Hope you are doing well. Would I be able to get an ultimate in then? Right, no, still not having it. I think I'm just playing badly today, is my thoughts. I could actually be going at a perfectly reasonable pace, but I just feel like I am not doing good. So just trying to figure out what to do next stream. Ooh! The hard questions, the hard posits. But no, I am well. Work has been just an absolute mongrel for both myself and the boy, so we're just take it each day and evening as it comes. We have to do, we've got no food, well, we do have food, but not like food. So we're going to go to the weekend shop tomorrow, and then hopefully the boy survives the weekend, because he's just got work coming out the wazoo at the moment. But no, otherwise, can't complain. Have you sort of in terms of the games that you're gonna play, in terms of figuring out what you're wanting to do on the next game, do you have sort of like a set of games that you're thinking, or you just like sort of open field in terms of the game? I took way too many frozen berries. That's actually another thing about the only possible update I can think about is that's right, because the boy ended up coming home really late last night. It was 7 o'clock. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I need to do something. I'm hungry, but I don't want to start cooking dinner at like 4:30 in the afternoon. So I was thinking, right, what do I need to do? I'm hungry, I need to make something. Let's just make biscuits. So I found just the most basic vanilla biscuit recipe. It's just butter, sugar, flour, and vanilla essence. Like, that's it. I'm like, great. Pop that in the oven. Amazing. So popped it in the oven. You know, it was quite thin, so I didn't really know how much. I mean, I could have just looked at the recipe to find out how long to cook it, but I didn't. So I opened up the thing and it's all like bubbling away. I'm like, oh goodness. So I take it out, I start like sort of putting it on the little cooling rack, and I'm like, oh, hang on a second. Hang on a quick squeeze here. I've actually, it's undercooked. I've taken it that way too early. So I pop it, so I have some of the bits out still on the cooling rack, sort of the edge pieces that were a bit crisp. And I put the rest back in the oven. Come sit down, back down at my desk, you know, watching. What was I even doing? I was doing something. I was like, started watching a couple of like our week YouTube videos. And then I'm like, beans. Oh wait, no, I wasn't beans. I was like, oh, I better go check on my biscuits. And then I opened up the oven, beans. They weren't burnt horrendously to a crisp, but there was probably it was very overcooked. So on my cooling rack I had undercooked and very overcooked biscuits. Not a single one cooked decently. So that was a failure of a biscuit. But at least the boy enjoyed it when he got home. And that's the main thing. Oh goodness. I need to stop biting down into giant things. And now the computer's playing nice, really. And one more. Oh, no. There we go. Beautiful. Right, now our fight's going thick and fast. Okay, Mifune and Zabuza. Options. Oh my goodness. Oh dang. You asked Foil for choice. Goodness, I suppose any one of those would be good. I say, go with like sort of 10 minutes before. Just look at it. Just look at all those things, and the one that that your brain or your heart's just like, yep. Then just go. Like, don't even overthink it. Just go with it. I mean, because the beauty is you can always swap things midstream as well. You don't need to be like me, I suppose. And well, no, fair way of phrasing it. I do the. I wouldn't even say it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I tend to just stick with one thing per stream. I suppose I should nerf myself a little bit there. But yeah, no, just go with your heart. Ooh. How did your no recipe brownies go? Was it kind of like, right, I know the rough ingredients that needs to go in, I'm just going to put in the ratios that I think, that I'm pretty sure it is, and just pray and hope. I'd imagine those would have gone well though. I wouldn't call it insight. I'd call it suggestion. I wouldn't call it insight. Yeah. Yes. Oh well, I'm glad they went well. Because I know, definitely whenever I make brownies, I put way too much egg in it, and it always ends up really cakey, like spongy cakey. Unless I'm actually looking at it like, maybe, because you know when you get recipe articles and it gives you their entire life story and the size of War and Peace 10 times over before you actually get to the recipe. Maybe I should actually start reading that, because it might tell me, oh hey, if you put in this much egg it'll become cakey, don't do that. Might be. Maybe I should start reading that. Like I never just thinking about those recipe novels. I remember, I can't remember who I heard it from, whether it was a friend or someone, but they said they reckon that the novel is the sales pitch as such. Because if you think about it, you type in brownie recipe, you'll get a bajillion, 1,000 brownie recipes from every possible Kate's Kitchen, Sarah's Kitchen, Bob's Kitchen, Robert's Kitchen, Supply, Extra Plus, you know, you'll get all of these different brownie recipes. So which one do you pick? So that's where the novels come in the sense that they're trying to sell you why you should be using their brownie recipe and no one else's. That's actually probably what they're doing, to be honest. That was the update of the day. Oh, I swear something happened today. We have entered in the office, you know, because corporate, well, is it corporate office? Business offices. You know, it's basically everyone's kind of, it's the land of first world problems. And the land of petty squabbles. But this one has been bubbling under the surface for a long time, and I'll sell you the story. So in the office there is two toilets and a disabled toilet. The disabled one is the shower. Now there are 3 definitely, possibly more, mainly 3 people that when they come in the morning, which is usually one of them sometime, or most of the time will come in before I get there, but the others definitely after, where they'll come in and use the shower, you know, whether they've, I think two of them bike in. I don't know about the other guy who just likes using the shower. Maybe his shower's busted at home. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, there's 3 people at least that use the shower. So with the shower, you need a towel. And so there is it's like a Coca-Cola towel, or there's like 3 towels that are always there in the bathroom. And I've never really paid them much mind. You can probably tell where I'm going with this. Never really paid them much mind. But there've been murmurings, there've been whispers over the last couple of weeks of these towels and how utterly foul and disgusting and just awful they smell. As if they've never seen the inner bowels of a washing machine in about 3 years, kind of bad. And the odd thing is that because of that, you can only surmise that these 3 people use these towels every single day, and they're never washed. And whether it's because they don't want to wash them, or because they think they're washed, or for some other reason. But anyway, long story short, these towels are not washed. And I think it all came to a head this morning when the guy that I sit beside, who's the office clown, really, but he's like utterly hilarious. I think he's fantastic. But he started like giggling. And I sort of like looked over the side of it. He sort of like nudged me to have a look at the screen. And in the office chat that we had on Microsoft Teams, he was typing up a lovely poem, like a full-on poem and everything, a soliloquy about the towels, and basically just going to post it in a very passive-aggressive manner to nudge the 3 people who have showers to be like, yo, take your bloody towels home and wash them, for God's sake, man. That sort of thing. So he posted that. I don't think he got much replies from it, but I said, like, why did you do that? And he said, so it turns out that morning, he had gone, I think the other 2 bathrooms were full, so he went into that one, which I don't think he's ever been into before either. Washed his hands. I think he went to, I don't know if he went to dry them on the towel or something, but basically he got close enough to the towel to be like, what the hell is that stink? And was like, holy crap, it's coming from the towels. And then he's like, that is so ugly, I must have touched them, because he was that's so utterly disgusting, I've got to go wash my hands again. And I think that just disgusted him so much to the point that he now started he openly started the dialogue around these bloody towels. So that was the drama in the office today. Which I thought was all hilarious, of course, because the 3 people who will be the culprits have not said a single word, nor had any interaction with this particular post either. So I reckon that they're like, oh crap, people think that we're disgusting. I'm like, well, those towels you probably are. Oh Michael Rich, what up? What up? How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. In fact, I might actually serenade you with this poll. I thought it was actually fantastic. This is how you passive aggressively tell a whole bunch of people that they are disgusting. One second. Yeah, so anyway, so that's all the drama that goes on in my office. Here we are. I am a bath towel in the disabled toilet. I am no longer fresh and clean. But I am still ready for your use or to gently touch when you reach for the door handle. You still hold me and my stinkiness up close to your unblemished skin. I still dry you, but now I give you the taint of 10 million bacteria rather than the scent of the fresh lavender soap that you used to wash me 12 months ago. Sometimes in the dark and lonely nights where I wait for you to use me again, I wonder, will I get washed again? Or is this it? Is this me? to be forever a breeding ground of life and a giver of new daily scents. And then underneath that, he's put what's it? Spoiler alert, the towels have spoken. It is a cruel world out there and they are not happy. If you are the owner of the towels, please just take them home. So yeah. So that is that was the passive aggressive message of today, and all the people that have grumbled about the towels for the last couple of weeks now can now openly discuss their disgust. So it's all fun and games, and I'm just sitting there just the whole time. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not a towel person, or like, I'm not one of the towel people. So just sit back and laugh. Hopefully this guy he will, any opportunity to do something funny, he'll take it. Like he's sitting there, I see like his shoulders shake, you know, when people are really chuckling to themselves, like their shoulders start shaking. So I can see that out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what's he doing? What's he laughing at? And he's like editing a wedding photo, like he'd been to a wedding recently, and he was editing one of like the big bridal party photos to like swap the bride and groom's faces around. And he was just having, he puts these big noise cancelling headphones on. He was just having like absolute thrill of it, and I'm like, I do hope that you're doing work today. Like because we timesheet what we do, we always joke about what timesheet code is his office pranks and all the things going to be. Yeah, and then the other thing, which I think everyone does look forward to, is in the midwinter Christmas dues. He'll do like a little award ceremony. So it'll be joke prizes, but he'll find for every person, he'll find like something that they've won an award for. So I think when I first started, because I think the midwinter Christmas was it was about probably the end of the month actually from when I started in June. So my award was on me and this other lady that had started a couple of days before me actually. Our award was for not leave because the building that we were in at the time was so freezing. Our award was thank God you didn't get fed up with the cold and leave us within a week award, for which we won hand warmers and fingerless gloves, which were actually really cozy. So I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And then last year, because by that point they all knew, everyone in the office knew I was doing Twitch, so I won the stepbrother award or something, where it was like looking out for all the 12-year-olds or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I thought it was hilarious. So I'm really, really excited to see what my award this year's gonna be. But anyway, so that's this guy at work. He's fantastic. I don't want him to ever leave, because he's just one of those one of a kind colleagues that you get that just completely unique and are just a fun time to be around. Anyway, so I'll keep y'all updated on the towel fiasco. See if those towels ever get clean. So we're not actually doing too badly on the time, but I would like to, because this is fight 21, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, so we're bang on the sort of cadence I generally try and have. Oh, that's right. Now, so I did not realise until way too late in my stream yesterday that I think I was muted for a good decent chunk of it. And I really hope I wasn't when I was talking about, so I'd found this thing, and I don't, and so I guess it might even be something that you'd probably be interested in as a writer as well, and puzzles. Have you heard of a literary puzzle, which I think has sort of come back very, very recently into sort of public knowledge, I guess, called Kane's Jawbone? Because I found out about it, I want to say Tuesday, and I'm like, this is utterly fantastic, and I kind of want to give it a go and see if I can solve it. It's known as like the greatest literary puzzle, the most difficult literary puzzle ever imagined, ever conceived. To the extent that since its inception in 1936, 4 people have solved it ever in the whole world ever. 2 at the time in 1936 and 2 since then. One of them during, I think, one of the first COVID lockdown. And I am like, wait, excuse me, 4 people have, there's only been 4 people that have solved it? Sign me up. I've obviously got what it takes. But it's, so essentially what it is, so it's a book that you can buy, and essentially it's 100 pages, or there's 100 pages, and it tells you in the foreword at the start, it's like, the introduction is right. So yeah, so there's this murder mystery. 6 people have been murdered, and you just have to find out who the 6 people were and who murdered them. With the big catch being, the book has been printed out of order haphazardly. So all the pages are numbered, and so your 2 tasks are, solve the murder mystery, or at least say who was murdered and who by. And put all 100 pages back into order, which you think would be, that's fine, I guess. But then it's made it's all the little idiosyncrasies of it that just get you, because it's, each page starts and ends with a complete sentence, so there's no half sentences that you're the first half and you can just match it up with the second half on the page. There's none of that at all. They all start completely from new sentences, and the way that it's written as well. So obviously it's written in 1936, so just by the nature of that, there will be figures of speech, there will be ways of writing that we modern audience wouldn't be familiar with, or at least not. Yeah, it's sort of the way it's done is weird. There's lots and lots of metaphors, there's lots and lots of biblical references to things that you'd be like, what even the hell is that? So probably a lot of Googling would be required. And back in 1936, good luck if you didn't know what something was, because we'd have to ask around. All that sort of thing. So basically, yeah, so you get this book, you put it all into order, and it will tell a complete story from start to finish, and I suppose, but also keeping in mind that maybe the narrator, their mind might sort of start going on tangents and wander a little bit, but in essence it will be a complete story start to finish. And I'm like, that sounds so fun. I would absolutely love to put that together. And yeah, so in terms of knowing whether you've actually done it or not. I think there's some people in the world that have been told what the answer is. So like they know what it is, but they never actually solved it themselves. So I think like you write into them, or you basically contact them in some way, and they're kind of essentially like the adjudicators. Say like, hey, I think it's this, and then they'll say yay or nay. I think that's how you can know if you've solved it. And yeah, so I'm like, the book's only about $35 online, well at least in 35 New Zealand dollars. So that would be, I want to say, $18, $20 American, I think. But yeah, so I was like, that sounds like right up my alley. The other problem well for me anyway, is so the guy who wrote it, he wrote it under a pseudonym, but obviously but they knew who the actual dude was, and apparently the dude who wrote it was also the father of cryptic crosswords, and I cannot for the life of me do a cryptic crossword at all. I just struggle to no end. Give me a normal crossword, I'm away. I'll have that thing done in like an hour. No problems at all. But cryptic crosswords, yeah. Just can't do it. Just for whatever reason, just can't do it. I'm thinking I might need to like read up or watch guys showing you how to solve them. Yeah, no idea. But anyway, so if this guy who's written this thing is father of cryptic crosswords, then by golly, it's just going to be a cryptic crossword on steroids. But I'm game for it. I'm so, like, I would absolutely love it. And, like, imagine solving it and you're, like, the 5th person ever in the history of humankind to have solved this puzzle. Like, whoa, wouldn't that just be so cool? You'll just be like, just be walking through town and you're just like, you're thinking to yourself like, all of these people have no idea that they are in the presence of royalty right about now. They're in the presence of the divine. If you were so narcissistically inclined. Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I would want to practice a small version, and it's like I'm surprised that, because when I did sort of a little Google, maybe I wasn't Googling hard enough, but looking for similar things, because I'm like, surely someone's done something similar, and I couldn't seem to find any. Like the closest thing I can think of is, I don't know if they do them anymore, but I remember I found that they still sell them, I think. But there was I can't remember the name of the brand of book. There was like a books that you can get, like puzzle solving books that you can get, and it would sort of be like, travel to the mystical island, and there would be, you can draw or write in the book itself to solve the puzzles, and it will give you the clue to solve the puzzle that's on the next page, and that's what I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure if I looked it up I'll be able to thing, but I just remember when I was a kid having this thing, and it was not meant for under 10s. That's probably why I struggled on some of the puzzles were alright, but some of them I was a bit meh on. But it's like those sorts of things. But even just like, surely someone's done something the same, but similar. But then the other thing too I was thinking about as well is the one danger of, because of something like this coming, sort of getting a bit more visibility and traction is, so this thing came out in 1936. It's sort of I think they ran a competition, I think, so you could actually win money if you wrote in and had managed to sort of solve it. And so, you know, for the people who have to solve it, they've got to use their wits. They, you know, maybe go to the library to research stuff. I don't know, that's just how it is. But if someone in England had solved it, how is the people over in America gonna know, or New Zealand or Germany or wherever, like, for that information to get sent across the world, it's significantly longer, significantly more difficult to do. Whereas all you need is someone to have solved it and said, hey Reddit, or hey Twitter, or hey whatever, here's some clues, and then they'll be putting in little clues here and there, and eventually it will get to a point where you say answer to this, and you will get the whole thing. Then everyone in the world solved it. It's taken the danger of the specialness of solving it being removed, because the answer would be so easy to find. You know, and then by then it's basically like, did you solve this without looking up the answers? That's like the only badge of honor. You know, that's how the badge of honor would be stated. Is, you know, did you look up the answer to get this? And so I think that's the danger of something like this. And it is special, yes. So something as special as this, sort of seeing the light, once again seeing the light of day, but in modern times, in the age of the interwebs. Yeah. But anyway, regardless, so I'm on my next payday, which is Monday. On my next payday, I'm thinking I might put a little cash aside for that. Give it a squiz. But the last guy to solve it, his sort of the way that the article described him was, he's a comedian and also a cryptic crossword lover. He solved it in the COVID lockdown, and he said, if I didn't have 4 months of me sitting at home doing nothing, I probably wouldn't have been able to solve it. Whoa. Goodness. Because then I was thinking, and again, my last point, because I might be going on about it a bit too much. I just think it's fantastic. But one of the things is I would love it if this, you know, when you get through it, if you kind of, because your brain will instantly try and start over-analysing. You'll be analysing every word placement, how every sentence is structured, words that are italicized, you'll be like, oh, is that important? You know, you'd be completely over-analysing anything. Imagine if you just sort of, kind of like the Occam's razor thing. The simplest answer is probably the right one. And you just read it, and just your brain's, oh yeah, well that's a name, and that did that person, and that did, you know, that did that, and blah 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 blah, whatevs. And it's just a very, very straightforward story, and the reason why it's complicated is because you are complicating it yourself. You're finding hidden meaning and subtext when there isn't actually any. And that's what's making it hard. It's because people are expecting it to be this big confounding puzzle, and their brain's turning it into one. Yeah. It's out of order. No, not every word is out of order, so it's just the pages. So like, basically imagine you had a book, ripped out every single page and put them all back in a different order. Like, that's it. That's essentially what it is. If it was every word out of order, that is a very different sort of puzzle. That would be almost nigh impossible. Or would it? No, I suppose with enough time you could probably do it. But yeah, so it's just the pages. But just to give you an example, because I found, like, I was looking up pictures of the pages on Google Images, just to give you an example of how it's written, because it's written very, well, you'll have never read a book like it before, kind of thing. It's weird, like, but some of the sentences I'm like, ooh, Oh, I'm digging that kind of sentence. I know it's a nice sentence. But yeah, so hang on, just who is he fighting? 1 out of 100 chance. No, you'd think it's 1 out of 100. It's actually like to the power of 100, so it's like millions of possible orders that you can put those pages in. Like millions of possible things. Yeah, because if you think about it, let's say you put every page in order, pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 98, and then you just swapped 99, 98, 100. That's one combination. But then let's say you did that whole thing and then you just did 98, 199, that's another one. And then you swapped it around again, you did 100, 99, 98, that's another one. So that's already 3 combinations, and you're only touching you're only swapping around 3 pages. So it's the chances of you randomly putting the pages and putting them in a random order, the chances of you getting that right is in the millions. Yeah, or out of a million. And that's why. So yeah, so I'll just Google the images. See the front page. Yeah, so I am conveniently situated with the moon on the one hand and the dawn on the other. Moon and dawn are capitalized. Conveniently situated for some things, that is. Here's young Sawney, for instance, parking his 4-door with a perfectly grey face. I'm sorry. He is fumbling with the lock arrangement. I've never tried the stuff myself. Bad for the hand. He's visiting the moon for the first time today, and just the first. I almost wish I had tried the lapsang. Like, already you're kind of just like, well, sorry, what? It's like someone's... It's like you're listening to someone's train of thought. And just things are being introduced and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't flow as you'd expect it to. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so super long story short, I want to give it a go. I want to give it a go. Because like the other thing too, and I was just thinking about it as well, is because, you know, and it's probably, you can't really probably do it justice reading it out loud, because there's capitalizations and things that will be making that sort of the sorts of things you need to pick up on, because you know that with the moon on the one hand and the dawn on the other, so moon and dawn capitalized. And the way, and then in a later sentence on the page it says he's visiting the moon for the first time today. And so that already strikes to me as the moon is like a place. It's like a diner or maybe the cinema or somewhere. It's not like a literal moon. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, anyway, I could go on about it. I could go on, but unless I will save you a torment of 2 hours about gushing about this puzzle, having it tried yet. But anyway, for that, found out all about it on Tuesday. And then that got me thinking about puzzle games, and I was looking at heaps of like puzzle games on Steam. So at some point, probably not in the near future. But where I find little gaps here and there, maybe as breaks in between my breaks between the East games, I might just do my hand with a couple of puzzle games. I do like puzzle games. I do like the odd brain teaser. There's one I want to try called Taiji, which is, if you've ever heard of The Witness, which is that was probably one puzzle game I can get about a third of the way through, and from that point on I'm like, oh, I've got no hope. I just the sort of mechanics that it has, I'm like, no, I can't do this. But this other game, Taiji, it's similar, very, very, very similar, but it's pixel art, sort of top down-ish. But anyway, I was watching a couple of guys on YouTube play through it. It looked very interesting, so I might end up giving that a go at some point. Imagine, because I also like just thinking of random, thinking of completely outlandish, impossible scenarios, but would actually be so cool. What if, two things, I just thought of something else as I was thinking about it. What if you solve this puzzle, this Kane's jawbone thing, and imagine if, when you solve it, it's kind of like, what's something similar? Can't think of anything similar off the top of my head, but I feel like I feel like there'll be something that's done this. But through solving this puzzle, once you've solved it and you've kind of reached that epiphany stage, you've essentially like unlocked you've done the ultimate puzzle, and every puzzle from now on will be so trivial and easy to you that you've unlocked the brain's logic stuff, and you are now you've reached a higher state of being. You've kind of ascended by solving this puzzle. You've just ascended to a higher plane of existence, actually. But other thought too is that similar to like how you got Mensa, by solving this puzzle, it's like the key to like a super Mensa, like the universe Mensa sort of thing. And now I've just thought of another one. If solving this puzzle, you solve the secrets of the universe. Kind of like what's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. Like this puzzle, when you solve it, you kind of like your brain just unlocks, boom, the meaning of the universe. I now understand it. Like imagine if that was. I think that'd be so cool. That would be so cool. Oh yes, the What Remains of Edith Finch. That was actually a really, really good puzzle game. It was one that I sort of just sat on for ages. Didn't really pay it no mind, but I kept hearing things about it. And I'm just like, oh, I might as well just give it a go, and I'm glad I did. Yeah, no, The Witness I kind of had to give up. When did I give up? I think I gave up. I don't think what it is. I managed to do the orchard thing. I think I was in the forest. Yeah, the forest with the birds. Just couldn't do it. Like I'm absolutely horrible when it comes to being to recognise, or yeah, I just didn't have the ears for it at all. Yeah. Yeah, but sort of, I've definitely in the last year or so, I've sort of played far more different games than I usually would, in the sense of I've been interested a lot more in just Metroid brain is the term, where games where you don't, there's not like items to find or anything like that. It's just you can get to the end right away. You can get to the end right away. You just need to know what you're doing. And so the game is to find out what you need to, is basically collecting information. So so you can get, so you know how to get to the end. But you theoretically finish the game straight away, because you know what you're meant to do. So games like Forgotten City, or the one I will bang on about forever and always is the Outer Wilds. If you have not played that, not to be confused with the Outer Worlds, it's a very different kind of game. But Outer Wilds, if you haven't played it, my god, my good giggly jiggabliggly, you just have to play it. It is utterly astounding. Utterly brilliant game. Yeah. Now, Return of the Obra Dinn. I have, that's on my to on my to playlist. I've been hearing everyone I've talked to who's played it has just said bruh play it right now. So I need to add that to my puzzle games that I'm gonna play in between other games on the stream. I need to add that to that one. Yeah, but no, Outer Wilds is it's a journey. It is a journey. It is, yeah, I will just it's good. It's just one of those games where you find, when you kind of have those epiphany moments and you start connecting the puzzle puzzle pieces together, it's extremely rewarding. It's extremely rewarding. Also extremely terrifying as well in every possible kind of way. Because of my fear of underwater levels or giant underwater creatures, I always do a little bit of a check before every game. I don't care if it spoils me for what's to come, but in terms of an underwater level, I would rather know an underwater level's coming, it's got a giant eel in it that's going to kill you. I'd rather know that and have some story beats spoiled than not know that and have a full-on heart attack, need a defib and everything on the couch. Yeah, because that's it. So anyway, so Outer Wilds, if you're not a fan of anglerfish, don't play it. Well, no, do play it, but just beware that you will die. Like your soul will leave your body. Yeah, but no, and actually, also because before that I played the Forgotten City, which is a Skyrim mod turned full-on game. That is another utterly fantastic one as well. If you're a fan of it's a lot of like talking and investigating, like asking people questions and sort of finding out what's going on, sort of thing. There's a little bit of action, I guess. Yeah, a little bit of action, but essentially you're in a time loop. Well, basically the same day starts over and over, and basically the whole gist is you find yourself in a city, looks like all ancient Roman. There's a thing called a golden rule, which when the golden rule is broken, all these gold statues around the town come to life and they start attacking people, and they turn to gold as well, and you escape from the city, and then it basically just restarts the day again, and you're tasked to someone is going to break the golden rule. It's fated that every day someone breaks the golden rule, and you have to try and find out. You're tasked with finding out who it is. Who's broken the golden rule and what do they do to break it? You're never actually told what the golden rule is either. So you go on, big investigation, I guess. And and it also tells you on the menu screen, on the start menu, it even says, hey, if you're streaming this, or you know you're a content creator, tell your audience please, when you get to the white corridor, the white hallway, it says when you get to the white hallway, put mad spoiler warnings on. So you're just like, oh, what do you mean? And then you get to the white hallway, and then everything after that, you're like, my god, this is just, you know, crazy. And yeah, so, and it's definitely a game that you don't want to spoil, so I won't say anything else about it. And that's another really, really good one as well to check out. Yeah, it's the thing with backlogs. You think you're getting it down to a manageable chunk, and then oh, I've now got like bajillion extra games to add to it. Yeah, I think I'm the lowest I've ever managed to have it in the last 4 years is probably, I think the lowest was about 18 games. And it's all the way back up to 27 now at the most, so that's fun. That's the beauty of games, is that you think you found everything good. You know, I've played, you know, surely I've played all the good games out there, and no, there's a whole host of them that you have no idea about. And that's the beauty of it, and that's why I love video games so much. As a medium, there's just no end of surprises. I realise I haven't updated my list in ages, but now is a good time to, because we are at, what are we, 98. So we are at 5798. Lovely. Okay, next fight, Sai and Yantamari. Which reminds me, I was just thinking about The Witness. But yeah, thinking about whole games which Limbo Trainer put back to The Witness. Have you either done or seen the secret true ending of the game? And know like the thing that you have to do to unlock the super secret ending. Because even though I gave up halfway, I didn't finish the game properly. I read that there was a super secret ending, so this, you know, this is all you have to do it, go and do it. Or, well, actually no, it didn't actually tell you exactly what you had to do, it just gave you like a, go here and do this thing and you'll know what you're meant to do. And there's like a super secret ending to it, which kind of gives some allusion, I guess, to what they were trying to do with or what the story is possibly about. Goodness gracious. Right, third Rakage and Yuta. These fights should be faster. That would have been really puzzly game. I'm sorry, right guys. Trails is cancelled. We're doing puzzle games galore, let's go. But no, I'll find puzzle game, I'll slot them in. Might even between East games. Because I think I'm still deciding whether I actually want to do Zelda in stream or not. Because Final Fantasy 16 definitely, FF7 Rebirth definitely. Might do maybe little bits of Zelda here and there, but not have it as a exclusively stream game. Because otherwise I'd be playing it I'll be streaming it every single day after that game comes out, which, I mean, would be a bad thing, but odd enough I don't have time, as weird as that sounds. 2 after. The animation that jutsu has, you would think it would do so much more damage than it does. I would hope to like say are going to be quick fights. Looking at the fights coming up. Oh no, I've got Tintins and Conquerors coming up. Oh no. Say it ain't so. I really after I finish this, after I get to fight 0, I really genuinely think maybe I won't do like a full, you know, every character versus every character, but I really just want to play those PS2 games again, just to re-experience them. I don't know, like I feel like Kankuro and Tintin, I give them such a bad flack on this game, but they can, like, it's because I know that they could be so much more. And Sebo, hello! How are you? Hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping safe. I hope you've had a fabulous day. Or are having a fabulous day. If it looks like I'm drinking the cup really weirdly, it's because I'm trying to not bend my mic with it. Oh, this is Cody ADM, okay. Well, I hope your morning has gone well so far, and I hope your day is even better. And then your evening is even better than that. How has work been anyway? Has it been the same old, or is it pretty chill, pretty stressed? Is this fight 71? No. 51. hope so too, for your sake. Because is it one of those things that, is it one of the things where if someone did come in, there would be sort of documentation that they could use to catch up and stuff, or would it kind of be they need to have knowledge of these sorts of things to even stand a chance? Because I know that sort of thing is absolutely killer when it comes to, especially in IT as well. Because if someone like doesn't quite know a system that you've been, a business or whatever has been using forever, and then they come and they've got no idea, then having to knowledge them up on that system just to even be able to use it, as well as knowledge up on how the business uses the system, or like the little, we don't use that setting, or we do, we set it up this way, or whatever. I find that can be an absolute killer sometimes. Because you have to like train them up on two kinds of things. Like what's it? At my boy's job, there's a similar thing happening. Their enterprise architect basically holds the keys to so many things in that business. He's leaving soon, and the boy is he's like, oh god, it's going to be absolute, for lack of a better term, shit show when this guy's gone. Because will be so much stuff that he's either done but hasn't left any documentation on, or ways that he's done things that no one else knows, systems that he's put in that no one else knows about, all this sort of stuff. So it's just going to be an absolute nightmare for their team. Gracious. Why is it so difficult? There we go. Gracious lordy. I know the ones, indeed. Yeah, so he's gonna leave, and then they're gonna be like, oh, he can't have been doing that much, and then everyone else is like, he did so much stuff. How can you not realize that, guys? Yeah. I mean, the boy has kind of gone more so than me. I'm just an average worker, really, at the end of the day. But the boy is. He will never give himself. He'll never think so himself. But he is the kind of the worker you want. But he starts at this new place. He starts in really at the lowest, service desk analyst, the lowest rung of the ladder, so to speak. And you know, they were still treating him as such. You know, the lowly service desk analyst. He was training the guys that had been there for 2 years on how to do things. You know, because in his previous job, the boy did everything. He was system admin, he was infrastructure engineer, he was everything. And so, you know, when he's joining the service desk team, he's like, oh, so can we access the servers? And they're like, no, why would you want to do that? It's like, well, I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to suddenly break anything. So then when eventually he managed to convince the upper management to let the service desk team at least be able to get into things so they can actually do their job. But then he was training his team on what to do when they get all these keys and things. And it took so long for the management there to realise, oh, hang on a second, this guy is actually good and he knows a hell of a lot. Maybe we should probably listen to what he says. Yeah. But no, but his case is uncommon in the sense that largely, as you know, as you'll be aware, is, you know, you get really good people and managers just can't understand or can't see how good they are. Where it's all going to fall apart very, very quickly. Yeah, no, oh my god, we've got so many countries. I say so many, like 2. That part was okay. Now we're gonna see if it's gonna. The next one's gonna be as good. My one of my friends just was messaging me. They were saying that on Final Fantasy 14, when you buy a house, you can get your house. And I think if you haven't logged in, or gone to the housing plot or something within, in like 90 days, or there's a certain range of time that it is. If you haven't logged in or you haven't been to your house in that time period, they'll demolish your house just to stop people buying up all the limited plots of land, and then just building houses and just never, that's it, they don't log in anymore, and sorry, the house is stuck there. Excuse me, so he just messaged, he's like, oh well, they've messaged and said they're about to demolish my house, so I better start logging in. I'm like, yes, because he hasn't done the recent raid series, and he absolutely goddamn needs to, and I need to be there when he does it as well. I need to see it. He's one of those people that has reactions to things. He gets so passionate about things, and it's amazing to see. Like, everything is just this mind-blowing experience to him, and it's beautiful. Kind of like imagine my reaction at the end of Trails 1, or Cold Steel 1. Imagine that, but like everything. Like every little thing will give me a reaction. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is so hard. There we go. Yes, no, I would definitely agree in the sense that I'd agree that it is, and it's probably why I like it, because I'm not good at MMO games. I've tried World of Warcraft, I've tried Aeon, and couldn't get Aeon I think I probably got the furthest in, but I just couldn't do it. I think, yeah, Final Fantasy is definitely more casual friendly, and it's probably the one that I found you can go the easiest time when you're a solo player. A lot of the times when I played the other MMOs, I felt like, oh god, I need friends. Like, I need to be in a group of people to really get the full experience out of this. While there is a lot that you would miss out on in 14 if you didn't really have a group, there's still so much you can do solo, and it was far more forgiving. It was almost like they did approach it as a Final Fantasy in the sense that story is so important, and we want people to experience the story. We don't really want them to have as little barriers as possible to experiencing the story. Yeah. Which I'm all for. I mean, I'm all for in the sense that I'm a big Final Fantasy anyway. So I'm there for the story first, gameplay second. But I can respect the people that prefer the more complicated MMOs. Like, yeah. I feel like the mass exodus to it, or the mass exodus from World of Warcraft, and they all went over to FF14. I feel that, you know, the reason why they picked FF14 was probably at the time that was lots of talk was about it, or lots of talk was about it. There was lots of talk about it at that time. So that's probably, they're like, oh, well, you know, everyone seems to be talking about this game, so we'll just go there. Yeah. It was interesting too. There was a noticeable shift in the kind of player interactions you ended up having in 14, when suddenly you got all the World of Warcraft players coming over, there was like a noticeable shift, because 14 was known for its like really lovely community. Everyone was super friendly and super helpful, and then suddenly the ratio of nice versus not quite as nice became a bit more skewed and negative. Just like they are very similar. True. Yeah, Blizzard as a whole, which is a shame. It is, because I mean Blizzard, it's one of those studios that's got the highest highs. You know, I genuinely, truly hope that Diablo 4 is good. I mean, I enjoy the Diablo games. I do play them on easy, but that aside, that being a difficulty aside, I really thoroughly enjoyed like Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. I really hope that Diablo 4 is good, for Blizzard's sake, because as much as a lot of people at Blizzard have, you know, deserve the negativity that they got, or the criticism, fully 100% deserved, as a company, it would be a shame if just these acts of these people brings down the whole company. Even though, you know, a lot of it was at the upper levels of that company, still, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious your thoughts on, in terms of game companies. So if you think of ones like Blizzard, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Bethesda, EA, slash BioWare, Activision, all those sort of, you know, the big companies. Do you think we're starting to see a decline, or in the sense that, do you think it will come a point where indie developers will be where, what am I trying to say? I was going to say where the predominant number of games comes up, but that's already the case. But game companies, large game companies as we know them, will essentially die, and smaller companies and companies that will stay small-ish will be the next thing, I guess. Oh, that's a really awful explanation. Awfully worded. I think you know, Blizzard's on the decline. Even Ubisoft is on the decline. Or at least they're experiencing troubles anyway. You know, EA is having to call back their reputation. Square Enix seems to, half of the people love them, half the people hate them. Or don't think that they're very good. Same with Bethesda. Everyone's just disappointed in Bethesda for everything. Activision's on... So it's Activision Blizzard, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, but it's, all you seem to see nowadays is these companies, bad things about them coming to light, or they're not hitting their financial numbers, all of these sorts of things. And then just how the rise of indie games and indie game developers, you know, they seem to be leading the pack. And putting out really, really good, solid games. There we go.
記憶はとうに捨てた。今必要なものは永久永遠の芸術。コレクション。
Seconds coming. We've got Danzo and Kisame after this. Okay, so the next fights to take us right into the end, they're actually pretty alright. Actually, should be pretty Just gonna spam ultimates. Well, at least spam ultimates on the characters that just can never seem to get any decent amount of DPS on. Oh, that's right. Has anyone, because I haven't played it personally, but I've been reading you know, the stuff about it at the moment, multiverses that I'm guessing Warner Brothers fighting game, Super Smash Brothers, but Super Warner Brothers. Because I've been reading about how apparently it's used the concurrent daily players on Steam has dropped 99% from where it was on launch. It had like 130,000 or something players at launch, and now it's like barely scraping 1,000. And it was weird because I remember when it came out. Again, never played it, but I remember when it came out and it was huge. Everyone and their mums was talking about it. And then now it's just not fully dead, but practically dead. And it's weird. Like, so if any of you have played it or are playing it, I'm curious to you know, curious if there's any insights or obvious reasons that you could see why it would have failed. Or is failing, should I say. Hasn't failed, but is failing. Always make a resurgence. Died and then come back to life. I feel like Dragon's Dogma did. Remember when that first came out, everyone was like, and didn't really do as well. And then when Dark Arisen, when they I don't even know no, it wasn't a re-release. It was just like, it's kind of like the Game of the Year edition, but not. And then when that came out, it just suddenly, whoosh, had a resurgence. And then, I think it was then, when I played the Dark Arisen version, that I'm like, I managed to finish it, because I can't even remember where I got to when I played it first. It's actually such a decent game. It's actually really, really good. I'm really, really excited to see what they do on Dragon's Dogma. I think the pawn system, or the mechanic they had with all the followers, that was ingenious. Because even as a game developer, so let's say you release a game and it suddenly takes off. It is Destiny 2. That's another game that's come back from the brink. But no, a game developer, you develop a game, it releases to unexpected glory, and everyone is talking about it. It's like the best game ever. You would feel utterly ecstatic. You'd make your money back, you know, maybe even double your money, and you're all good to go. So maybe it's a live service game, you keep it going, or not, and you just put out little patches and updates here, there, and everywhere, and maybe you're paying for a DLC. And then let's say suddenly a multiverse situation happens and you're down 99% of the people who are playing it. Would those developers care. In the sense that, is it a case of, oh, I've made my money, I don't worry now if it fails or not. I've already made my money. It's not like we've lost. It's not like we've lost money or lost whatever because this game has suddenly died. Or is it that there will still be some element of personal pride that's sort of, you know, lost a little bit. Or you know, you even though you've made your money back, you might be planning the new game, the new thing. You'd still be like, oh my goodness, the game's failing. You know, all hands on deck. We need to kind of resurrect it. Yeah, I'm curious as to the reaction internally at Game Development Studios when they crunch the numbers and find that a game is not doing as well anymore as it used to. I don't mind because these fights are now coming thick and fast, which is great. So we've got 12 minutes. Might actually be able to, because I thought I was probably going to be able to do bang on 80, but I might actually be able to fit in a couple more. Possibly. I might actually get down to 5, 7, 5, 6 today, which means we are extremely on track for day 70, day 72, no, day 73 is going to be the halfway day. So I think eight more fights should do it, I think. Believe, yeah, 8 more fights will be good to go. Ooh. I was doing. So playing Hogwarts Legacy, I've done the main story and now just doing all the side stuff. There was a side quest I was doing. Fully did not expect the direction it would go at all, but it was. I did get the biggest fright of my life. Like swore super loudly. But what was it? So there's like a quest where someone tries to sell you a shop, and so previous tenants have had trouble, and they're like, look, she's like, look, take the shop. If it fails, then promise that you'll sell it back to me at a discounted price or something weird. So anyway, so you go and buy the house. It comes with a little house elf who wants to help sell things. And you kind of just get this weird niggling feeling in the back of your mind, like something's going on here. Like, what's going on? So eventually, she says, so you end up buying the shop. And then suddenly, you're thrust into like a horror kind of scenario where you got little mannequins, frozen mannequins, and weird, like you walking through a hallway and then you reach a dead end and then you turn around and then there's a mannequin that's standing right behind you, and it gets really creepy really easily, and it's probably me being super weird, as I am a weenie, probably. It was really creepy. And then I got the biggest fright of my life. There's one jump scare in it. I think it's, one jump scare in it. It's completely caught me off guard, where you're about to walk through a hallway, a doorway. You're about to walk through an open doorway. And then just as you get to cross the threshold of it, a spider comes down from underneath the door sill and does that. I did the biggest jump, my heart just sort of skyrocketed 1,000 bajillion miles an hour. And it's the only jump scare in the whole thing. And I think it's because I wasn't expecting it at all, because you're expecting jump scares the whole way through, but there's never is any. Except this one moment, and that just put me on edge the whole rest of the time. It was, and then, finish the quest, all is good, side quest done, but it just came out of left field, and I also enjoyed it. Or, I didn't enjoy being scared, but I enjoyed the fact that just suddenly out of the blue there's a horror-y kind of side quest. It was really, really great. So now I'm really excited to see what the other side quests are. So I've done some, but not all of the side quests. Yeah, I've done some side quests in the game, but not the vast majority of them. Yeah. Four more fights. Yes, we've got young Kakashi and Mei, and then I'm not gonna do a Chidori actually, I'm gonna do 5 Jutsu, and then the one after Darui, and young Neji. So 4 great fights coming up. I say great. 4 should be easy fights coming up. See what the computer does. Gorgeous and beautiful. Right, last 2 fights of the day coming up. Darui and Yamaji. Of course, I find my groove right at the end. You know, the first few fights. First few fights today went slow as the slowest snail in the world. And then now we're speeding through them right at the end. Last fight. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Fabulous. Right. So, what are we down to? 5, 6. So 5, 7, 5, 6. Gorgeous. Alright. So that. Oh, I've still got tea in my cup. Oh no. That's so gold. Alright, so I will call it a day there. What have we got coming up? Tomorrow we'll be finishing East 1 and moving on to East 2. Saturday will be Trials of Cold Steel 2, and then Sunday will be day 72 of this. Alrighty, as I said, cool day. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a fabulous morning, afternoon, night, evening, midnight, early morning, everything. I love you all. Stay rested, stay well, stay hydrated, stay fruity fresh, stay fabulous. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.